representing the 37th Congressional District, please welcome Congresswoman Sydney Kamlager-Dove.
Good afternoon, California, and hello, Anaheim. It is so good to be here with you, my fellow Democrats. So who is in the House? I see all the valleys. I see the Bay from Eureka to San Ysidro. And of course, I see LA in the House. And who else is in the House? We have labor, we have tech, we have creatives, we have homemakers, healthcare workers, and students. But you know who I really see? I see fighters. As a Congresswoman representing the great 37th Congressional District, I am in D.C. every week. So let me tell you about one day in the life in D.C. So it started at Dem Caucus. Well, actually it started with an oat milk latte, and then it was off to the Democratic Caucus, where I heard all of the bad bills we would be voting on that week. Headed to the Judiciary Committee, I ran into a Capitol Police officer who asked me if his retirement was going to get cut. He said he needed to know so he could figure out how to provide for his family. And then in Judiciary, I found myself debating birthright citizenship. I'm like, my bad, I thought we resolved that 127 years ago. Next, I had to go to my Foreign Affairs Committee, where I listened to an insurgent who had stormed the Capitol on January 6th defend shutting down USAID. So after I shut him down, I left, and I was stopped by Marion. Marion said, you know, I follow you on social. Is this shit legal? Yes, it never is. Yes, it never is. But Marion is a federal worker, married to a disabled veteran with 3 kids, and in her free time, she takes care of her ailing mother-in-law. And Elon Musk and the orange oligarch lover had just sucker punched her with a notice of termination in a cruel, cynical email sent at 4 p.m. on a Friday afternoon. And Marion needed help. So she asked me, what are the Democrats doing? And Marion's question is why we are here today. We are here because we have an opportunity to fight today and for the next 520 days. Now, no cap, losing sucks, but it is fueling the fights that we are in now. The fights for business owners, their employees, and a fair market. For teachers and their students and the right to learn complete history, nurses and their patients and the right to accessible health care, stay-at-home dads and their children's right to grow up safe and free. It is a fight for our farmers, jammed by unsaleable crops because USAID is shut down, healthcare providers jeopardized by potential cuts to Medicaid, research and innovation imperiled by cuts to grants and clinical trials, for disaster relief sacked by climate deniers and Mr. Taco, for truth and decency, because lies and incivility are not our values as Democrats. It is a fight for today and protecting the core tenets of how we treat one another so that we have a tomorrow and the opportunity to play a role in building a future where we can all get ahead together. Republicans are trying to repackage our accomplishments as their own. But it has been Democrats who fight for the working class. It has been Democrats who stand up for education and the economy. Democrats create jobs and careers that build cities, run counties, and grow states. So Democrats, don't be duped by misinformation or distracted by mayhem. Democrats, we need to dust off, saddle up, roll up. Why? Because we have been winning. We won the Wisconsin Supreme Court seat. Why? Because our Constitution is stronger than their cult. We won the mayor's governor's race in red Omaha, Nebraska. Why? Because governance over graft still matters. We want to toss up U.S. Senate seat in Arizona. Why? Because immigration reform and border security can go hand in hand. And for the first time ever, we won 2 state legislative seats in a red slice of Pennsylvania. Why? Because people want a government that hears them and not harms them. And Democrats, we have been winning in the courts. Over 249 lawsuits filed. We have won more than 150 of them. Why? Because Democrats will fight. And we are not starting from scratch. So Democrats, we need to stay focused and fearless. Go into red districts with resolve and receipts. Phone bank like you're bidding for Beyonce tickets, but stay in the fight. Where are our leaders? People ask. I'm here. You're here. We're here. And we are even more powerful when we are under assault. Last year, I went to my friend's high school football game. He was on the underdog team. Their uniforms were old and the equipment was borrowed. They didn't even have proper water on the sidelines, yo. They were an urban public school playing against a powerhouse private school. And our team was getting pummeled. It was unfair. But the spirit in these kids, you could not measure. They were fighting for pride and their families and each other. It was an irresistible force. And you know, football is 4 quarters. These kids, after getting battered in the first half, they came back possessed in the second, and they eked out a win. And after the game, we were all wows and high fives. And I asked my friend's son, I said, how did you do that? And what he told me was how I answered Marion about us. He said, squabble up. So Democrats, squabble up.
Squabble up. Squabble up. Squabble up. Squabble up.